Hi, room 2. I'm going to be doing the math lesson for week 1, day 3. So you're going to be needing your math packet to the correct page. It says week 1, day 3 on top. You're also going to need some colors for the math today. It looks like we're going to need red, orange, green, and blue. We're going to be shading in some parts of the whole. Our focus for the lesson today is making halves and fourths out of rectangles and circles. So I have a couple important vocabulary words up for us for the math today. Halves, yes, it has a silent L in it. Halves means we're dividing into 2 equal parts. Fourths means we're dividing into 4 equal parts. So I noticed the number 4 inside the word fourths, 4 equal parts. And another way we could say this is the word quarters. Quarters are the same as fourths. I like to think about the fact that there are 4 quarters in a whole dollar. Okay. Now this is a whole, one whole, and anytime I see a circle and I'm practicing equal parts, I think of a pie, or sometimes I think of a pizza. Well, if I divide my whole pizza into halves to share with maybe one other person, we're going to get some pretty big pieces of pizza, right? Because we split the whole pizza into 2 equal parts. Okay. Now, fourths are going to be smaller pieces on this same pizza. Here are my quarters or fourths. It says 1/4 on here. That means 1 out of 4. So here's a piece here. Another piece. And let me get these 2 held up together. A third piece and a 4th piece. So if I shared this with 4 people total, we're going to get some smaller pieces, right? Smaller pieces if I'm sharing with 4 total. So I have a clip that the robot helper is going to show us on making halves and fourths out of rectangles and circles. Let me just pull it up to help us. Oh, he's already upside down and ready.
You can divide shapes into halves and fourths. How could you describe this circle? This circle is divided into halves. How could you describe the yellow share of the circle? You could say the yellow share is 1 out of 2 equal shares. Half of the circle is yellow. This rectangle is divided into halves. How could you describe each share of the rectangle?
How could we describe each share of the rectangle? Each of the shares is 1 out of 2 equal shares, or half.
You could say each share is 1 out of 2 equal shares. You could also say each share is half, or half of the rectangle. The shares are triangles. What could you do to check whether the 2 triangles are equal? You could see whether they match exactly. 2 of the halves make 1 whole rectangle. This circle is divided into fourths or quarters. 4 of the quarters make 1 whole circle. How could you describe the blue share of the circle?
What could we say about this blue share? We could say that it's 1 out of 4, or 1/4, 1/4 of the circle. It's 1 equal share.
You could say the blue share is 1 out of 4 equal shares, or 1/4 of the circle. 1/4 of the circle is blue. How could you describe the whole rectangle? You could say 4 out of 4 equal shares make a whole rectangle. 1/4 or 1/4 of the rectangle is yellow. 1/4 or 1/4 of the rectangle is orange. What do you notice about the green shares of the rectangle? They are half of the rectangle. Half of the rectangle is green. Does it matter that the green shares are not on the same side of the rectangle?
What do you think? Does it matter that these two green shares are not on the same side? Let's click try it. So here I'm going to drag these quarters into the triangle to count the number of equal shares. So we have the green, and this time I'll put them next to each other. 2, 3 equal shares, and 4 equal shares.
No, because 2 of 4 equal shares of the rectangle are green. So half of the rectangle is green. What color is half of this circle? Select your answer.
What do you think? What color is half or 2 out of 4 equal parts of this circle? Orange or yellow? Good, we have 2 orange.
You could say the orange shares are 2 out of 4 equal shares, 2/4, or 2/4 of the circle. So half of the circle is orange.
Now you know about halves and fourths of shapes.
Okay, so we need those colors ready. You're going to be shading in the part of the shape that it tells us to do. It says first to do 1/2 red. 1/2 red. So my circle is split into 2 equal parts. I'm going to shade one of them red. My rectangle is in 2 equal parts. I'm going to choose which side I want to shade in red. My square, this one's divided into 4 equal parts. This one's a bit different. Now I need to shade in 2 parts of my square. That way I'll have half of the whole square shaded. Okay, so you're going to be doing the shading for this side, and then we have a page where you're going to be shading half of these shapes. This page, you can choose the color that you want to use. Okay, now tomorrow's lesson is on the same thing with some different colors being used. Okay, have fun with that. Talk to you soon.